Looking at the very first prototype, which includes some essential features, their potential layouts and discussions of what I foresee to be areas which will require careful testing and design. So from the conversations I have been able to have, which haven't been many, I think some of the essential functions are going to be the ability to search, the ability to have offline access, the ability to read documents while offline that may, in their original state, not be ideal for reading on small devices. And then there's also the opportunity to add extra features, small pieces of code in a toolbox that might be useful for, say, calculating the amount of common medicines like morphine to give someone per their weight. Those type of things can be easy add-ons that might be a nice addition. So looking first at the search functionality, what I have it now broken into is the ability for the user to search the database, which here I've called the health base. They could either browse the entire health base, which I'm guessing is going to be quite large, or they can search by a term. This is going to necessitate that every item that is entered into our backend database is carefully keyworded. I've run some tests, and in my past experiences, especially if you have significantly large data sets, it's very difficult to get good access, and there's no ability to have decent search functionality without effective keywording. Now, this is work for people maintaining the back-end data set, but I think it's probably the most effective option. So for example, here this shows what, say, results might show if someone searches the word bite, which would be everything from frostbite, because it's in the name, to, say, snake bites, insect bites, or assessing for infection, which might come up because that is a frequent thing that one has with bite wounds. The ability to search the web would allow you ideally to act as a web browser, but also as a way to save pages that you encounter, either saving the text in them, saving them as a PDF. That's something that we're going to have to explore. There's going to be technical limitations and bonuses either way. There is also the option of, instead of making this an integral function of the app, of I don't know if this can actually be done on all devices, but a browse and plugin, so that when someone is browsing in their Google Chrome or their Safari on their smartphone, they would then be able to import the pages that they are currently viewing into this app for storage. But that's something that can easily be a sort of add-on for that, can easily be built for a desktop. I really have never seen that done for a smartphone, but I suppose it's possible. So going back to browsing the database, which is the main goal of the project, on the left you can see what currently I have a rough demarcation, which would show people what they have downloaded into their library, giving them offline access, and what would be available for reading. Everything would be available for reading with internet connection, but what items are not currently downloaded. So let's say you're looking at insect bites and stings. Now you have the subfile, which is everything in at this point. It's the American Academy of Dermatology, insect bite, all of their lectures in insect bite category. You would have the availability to download all of the files, or you could download and view particular files. So if we look at infestation bites, here, for example, some slides from a relevant lecture that then someone can both read, or they can then also choose to download just that particular file. So now going to the library, which is the item someone has downloaded, there is, I think, going to be a couple useful features, one of which is up at the top. If you see there's a My Documents, I don't know if this is really the best title, but it seems people have preferred textbooks or preferred reference material, often in the form of textbooks that we might not have in our database. Some of the people I've spoken to, friends who were in med school, gave them as gifts. If the person can get hold of a PDF version of these and then upload them onto this app, it would give them the availability to have everything in one place. That would, of course, allow greater flexibility. It would necessitate that the medics find a version of the book that is a PDF. That's becoming more and more frequent and not of an issue. Then favorites would be, the medics I spoke to also said there was items that they referenced very, very frequently, and that would allow not having to search for such items at each time. And so, for example, from the favorites category, you could choose a particular book which has nice visual references and allows you, to view that. Now, if you see when you select the item, you go down to the final into the reader mode. Going back and forth for many of the other items would then put you to the document that you have been reading last. That might be something we want to change. Finally, just an optional feature that would be quite easy to add, but I haven't had the chance to run this by any actual medics, would be if there's any calculators or diagnostic flowcharts or the ability to pre-store hospital contact information, any little tools and widgets that might be nice add-ons to have as a feature of the app. So that's what I have so far. There's still a lot of work to do, and there's still quite a bit